Hi, I'm Mary Katherine, and welcome to my table. Have you ever wanted to make cinnamon rolls, but you didn't want to go to the trouble of making them from scratch? I've got a great solution for you today in this quick and easy, but oh so delicious cinnamon pull apart. And so you're going to want to stick around, jump in, and make it with me. What we're going to take today with our ingredients are just some really simple things. We're going to start out with using frozen dinner rolls. These are the Rhodes brand, but you can use whatever you want. And I'm gonna open them up and show you. These are the ones that just come in the little round dough balls. So we're gonna start by just taking about 15 of these and putting in our pan. This is about twice that many. It's 36 rolls, so it's just a little over. So I'm just gonna use kind of half of this bag and it will be fine. Just spread them around evenly. And of course, it doesn't look like it fills it up now, but when they rise, it will fill it all the way up to the top. So that's going to be perfect. And that's about the amount we need. So now I'm going to just take this and set it aside. And we're going to make a delicious little topping to go on it. First, I'm going to chop some pecans. I need about a half a cup. But I'm just going to kind of give these a rough chop and leave them in fairly big pieces, and then use about a half a cup in this recipe. Okay, let me set that aside. And now I've got my bowl, and we're going to put half a cup of brown sugar in this bowl. And just like most of the time with brown sugar, I am going to pack it. So there's about a half a cup. And then you use one small box of vanilla pudding. And this, you'll notice, is the cook and serve. This is not instant pudding. You want to buy the cook and serve to use for this recipe. And we just use one small box. And we just pour it directly into our bowl with our brown sugar. And then we want a couple of teaspoons of cinnamon. I'm not going to measure that. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle. That looks good. And then the last thing is to add our pecans. And so I'm just going to kind of guesstimate on this as well. You can't go wrong. If we have a little extra, that's fine. If it's not quite enough, we'll still have nuts in our cinnamon rolls and it'll be good. So I'm just going to use all that I chopped there. And then just give this a quick mix in this bowl so that those things come together, the brown sugar and the pudding and the cinnamon and the pecans. Smells good with that cinnamon in there. Okay, now that we've got that done, I'm going to get our brunch pan back over here so you can see we just are going to take all of this and sprinkle all over the top. And we use all of this because these rolls are going to rise and be much larger than this. And so this is going to be the perfect amount. And here we go. That looks pretty even already. And then the last ingredient that we use for this is 1 stick of butter. So that's half a cup of butter and it's melted. And we just drizzle it all over the top. Just like this. You don't stir it or anything. You just drizzle it and then leave it. All right. And now, the simplest part of all is you put this in your oven. This is actually called overnight cinnamon rolls. And you put this in your oven overnight and you let it rise. And then when you get up the next morning, you can bake your cinnamon rolls bright and early, but you did your prep the night before. And this prep, honestly, was so quick and easy. You can see, but they are going to be delicious. And then we'll make a glaze to go on it too. And be sure when you put these in your oven overnight, you don't turn your oven on. You just leave them and let them sit room temperature, and that's going to let them rise just the way they need to. Okay, this is what it looks like after it's risen. So I've taken it out of the oven and I've now turned the oven on and it's preheated to 350 degrees. It's time to bake our cinnamon rolls. I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes. These are supposed to bake from 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm going to check them on the low end and we'll see if they're ready then. Now while they're baking, I'm going to go ahead and get the glaze ready that we're going to use for these cinnamon rolls. And what we need is 2 cups of powdered sugar. This is just a really simple glaze. And then we're going to add just a splash of vanilla. Just about that much will be good. And then about 1/4 of a cup of milk. Use my same measuring cup and just kind of estimate. That's probably about 1/4. And this is going to be used once our cinnamon rolls have baked. We will leave them in the pan at first. And we will pour a little bit of this glaze over them while they're in the pan. And then we will turn them out onto a pretty plate. And we'll pour the other half of our glaze over the top of them. It's getting smooth now, so. All right, so we'll have our glaze ready when our cinnamon rolls are ready. And that's just as simple as it is to make that glaze. Okay, it's been 20 minutes and I'm about to take it out. Let's see it. Well, is that full? Oh, it looks perfectly golden brown. And as you see, I actually covered mine for just the last few minutes, maybe with about 5 minutes left to go. My oven tends to cook on the hot side, so mine took 20 minutes and about the last 5 minutes I covered it. If you like yours browner than this, then don't cover it with full. Just let it go, but this is perfect for us. Now let's get our glaze. I'm gonna do my little trick. I've shown you this a few times, but we're gonna do it again. I'm gonna take this glaze and have a Ziploc bag just in a cup, a glass here, and we're just gonna pour it into this bag. And it's gonna make it so easy to get that glaze everywhere exactly like we want it. And we just turn our bag up, close it up, get as much air out as you can. And then this is really runny since it's glaze instead of an icing. So I'm gonna scoot that out of the way. I'm just gonna snip a small piece of a corner for this because that glaze is gonna run out quickly. And like I said, we're gonna use about half the glaze right now and put it on this. We'll let it sit just a few minutes, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes at the most. And then we'll turn it out onto a plate and put the remaining glaze on the top of it. And just kind of squeeze it down to that corner. And it just starts to come out. You just go all around it. I'm gonna go around one more time. I think that'll use about half of it for now. All right, we'll let that sit just for a few minutes and then we'll turn it out. All right, we're ready to turn it out. It's been about 5 minutes and you really just want to give that glaze time to drip through where it's gonna drip and then kind of set. So that's been long enough for this. And here's how I turn it out. I just get my cake plate or whatever platter you want to put it on, and I just set it directly onto it. It's still hot at this point, so I do need my hot pads or my if I can get this under it. Hang on. Okay, there it comes.
Good.
Here it comes. Look at that. And then I'm going to take our glaze and I'm just going to start running back and forth across it. And that way you're going to get a little bit on every piece. All right, and we still have a little bit in our bag, so I'm going to go around again. One more time. And that is our cinnamon roll pull-apart bundt cake. And then, do we need to have a taste test? I think we have to. All right, now normally if you serve this and it's not quite this hot, You can just let people pull it apart if you want. They can just grab a piece and go. But I'm going to use my plate and fork today because it is still quite hot. So let me see if I can find one. There you go. See, your pieces just kind of pull apart because you use those individual rolls. And see how every one is going to have some of the delicious brown sugar mixture that we put on it with the butter. And then it's also going to have some icing. So let's give it a taste. Wow. That is so good. It is really a delicious option. If you want to have something that tastes like just totally homemade cinnamon rolls, this is delicious. Nobody will ever know that you used frozen dough to make these, the frozen rolls that you buy at the grocery store, but it's such a quick and easy way to put them together. This is a great dish. You really will love this one. Thanks so much for joining me today at Mary Catherine's Table. I really enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you did too. If you love this content and want to see more, hit the subscribe button. We're just trying to bring you some really good food. And remember, go out and find someone today that needs a little bit of kindness and give them some of yours.